team, his first full season as a big league manager. And John, you can see the problem. The key offensive players for the Angels lately, except for Salmon, have not been getting it done.
Well, Edmonds carried a lot of the load early in the year, as did Phillips and Snow and Davis. And right now, everybody's scuffling a bit, but Timmy Salmon, we mentioned in the open, he's the only guy that had a good road trip back in the East Coast. And I'll tell you, I've been in that chair in the dugout, Ken, and it's tough right now for Marcel Latchman. His ball club has lost 14 of the last 16 ball games, 1-8 on the East Coast trip. So they're scuffling right now big time. Maybe this home cooking will help them here in the Big A.
Now let's take a look at tonight's Budweiser Minnesota Twins starting lineup. Leading it off, Chuck Knobloch, who has just begun to struggle a little bit at second base. Then the third baseman, Jeff Rebele. Kirby Puckett is in right field. Pedro Munoz, the cleanup hitter, in DH. Then the youngster, the rookie, Marty Cordova, with a big home run number for a rookie. Ron Coomer is at first base. Matt Wahlbeck, the catcher. Pat Mears hitting 8th, playing short, and Rich Becker is hitting 9th, playing center field for Minnesota.
Well, there's a veteran, Mark Langston, 35 years old. You can see his numbers. The wins are really good, 13-4. His ERA is up a little higher than normal. This will be his 26th start. It's Burning's pitch, a little high for Mark. Strikeouts 112. The one thing that Mark has to do really is throw his changeup a little more to be effective. He hasn't quite done that as much as he should lately.
The outfield, Anderson, Edmonds, and Salmon. The infield, Phillips and Dick Schofield, brought up today from Vancouver at short. Of course, he was here before. Easily moves back to second base. Snow at first. Myers is the catcher. And we're ready to go before this Friday night crowd in Anaheim. Chuck Knobloch, who has had a terrific season, leads it off. You saw the note, 1 for his last 12, but 339, 9 homers, 52 RBIs. This fella is a terrific leadoff hitter. And he pops up the first pitch, back and out of play. 1 strike. One thing about the Angels, for quite a stretch now, they have given up a lot of runs in the first inning.
Well, Langston's first inning ERA this year is 7.77, so that's not good to Angels fans. Now, one thing about Chuck Knobloch is he's having a terrific year offensively, but he's really steady defensively as well. I don't think he gets as much credit as he should for his defense.
He hits one deep to left. Are the Angels in the hole again? Anderson at the gate leaps, and this one is out of here. Knobloch leads off the game with his 10th home run of the season. And again, the Angels find themselves trailing right off the bat.
Well, that's his 9th home run since the All-Star break. He's been on fire since the break. Chuck Knobloch has been everything and more in that leadoff position. Here you see the pitch by Langston. The ball right over the middle of the plate. Good high follow through by Knobloch. Anderson goes to the wall, runs out of real estate.
So Knobloch and the Twins celebrate. And here is Jeff Rebele, the third baseman for Minnesota, and he takes a ball. So the Twins get a home run from Knobloch to lead off the game. 28 straight games in which the Angels have trailed. Now it's 2-0. Rebele, 310, 3 homers, 19 RBIs. And that's a strike, 2-1.
Really something that the Angels couldn't afford. They've been getting behind so often lately, Ken, and to have Mark Langston, one of your aces, go out there in the first inning and give a home run up to the leadoff hitter really is depressing. Those guys right now are down over there just a little bit in the clubhouse and on the bench. They know that they've got to swing the bats well to keep this lead in the American League West, and they also know that they've got to pitch well.
So the Angels have trailed at some point in each of their last 28 games. Now in the last 27, trailing in each of them, they did come back to win in 8 of them. 2-2 the count. And a ground ball to Schofield, tested early, the throw in plenty of time, and there's the first out. So Dick Schofield back in an Angel uniform, last played Monday night for the Vancouver Canadians in the Pacific Coast League, was released back in May by the Dodgers and had been home in really forced retirement.
Really a fan favorite here in Anaheim for many, many years. Probably one of the steadiest shortstops you're ever going to see. Has never hit that well, but Dick Schofield can do it on the infield. What it allows Marcel Laxman to do is move Damian Easley over to second base. It wasn't that he wasn't playing a good shortstop, but he is an excellent second baseman, and I think the Angels lost a little bit range-wise with him at shortstop.
Kirby Puckett takes ball one. Kirby, .319, 22 home runs, 88 RBIs in his 12th season, all of them with Minnesota. And that one bends in over the outside corner.
How about Puckett early in the year? He said, I haven't felt comfortable all year. All he's doing is hitting .319 now. Hasn't felt comfortable. He's hit .280 at the break, and that wasn't like him.
1-2.
Hit .307 in the last 9 years in the American League. The other 2 years, he only hit .296 and .298. What a player.
Has a lot of spirit. Fan favorite. Of course, he's a legend in the upper Midwest. And Langston's 1-2, fouled back.
And will swing at anything he can reach up there. It could be in the dirt. It could be over his head. One of the best bad ball hitters I've ever seen. We used to talk about him in scouting reports going over the Twins, and we really just skipped Kirby Puckett. We didn't talk about it because we didn't know how to get him out. He could swing at anything, anywhere.
Langston bounces one, and it takes the count to 2-2. The defense pretty much straight away on Puckett. He has good power to all fields. And he grounds one to Phillips. And the Angels' third baseman throws him out, and they're 2 away. We mentioned the woes of the Angels, having lost 11 of their last 12 coming home. The Twins just off of a homestand, and they come out west having won 7 of their last 9, and they have actually been a pretty decent team, almost .500 since the All-Star break. Their skipper Tom Kelly, and most will tell you he is one of the best managers in the game. Pedro Munoz swings and misses, 1 strike.
The one thing about Tom Kelly is the fact that he's used to having a lot of young ball players on his club. He's got great patience. He's got a great work ethic and teaches his young players how to play the game.
The 1-strike pitch to Munoz, grounded to short. Schofield gets a bad hop off the grass, recovers the throw in time. Out at first base is Munoz. Knobloch a homer after half an inning. The Twins won, and the Angels coming up. Minnesota gets a first-inning home run from Chuck Knobloch. Now let's take a look at tonight's Budweiser California Angels starting lineup. Leading off, playing third base, Tony Phillips. He scored more runs than any player in the league. Then second baseman Damian Easley. Struggling Jim Edmonds in center field. Chili Davis, the cleanup hitter, in DH. Then the right fielder Tim Salmon. JT Snow follows Salmon. He's at first base. The left fielder is Garrett Anderson. The 8th hitter is catcher Greg Myers, and Dick Schofield at short, batting 9th.
Well, the youngster Jose Parra will take the mound tonight for the Twins. You can see he's 1-2 with a rather high 7.75 ERA in his 7 starts, 36 innings pitched, 44 hits, 13 walks, and 13 strikeouts. So he's not really a strikeout pitcher.
Defensively for Minnesota, they have Cordova leading the league with 11 assists in left. Then Becker and Puckett. The infield, Rebele, Mears, Knobloch, and Coomer. Walbeck is the catcher. Tony Phillips, he has ignited this Angel offense this season. He has not gotten on base a lot lately. 1 strike. Tony is hitting .271. Not long ago, he was right up near .300. 22 homers, a career high, and 54 RBIs. Tony, a big addition to this Angels club in '95. The last few years with the Tigers. He is very verbal, quotable, and he and Chili Davis are the veteran leaders on a relatively young Angels ball club. He hits a long one right center. Here goes Becker back. It could be. It is gone. A home run from Tony Phillips. How about that? He Phillips, leadoff hitter, cracks one out of here in the opening inning. Now block for the Twins, Phillips for the Angels, and for Tony Phillips, home run number 23.
Each and every home run that Tony Phillips hits this year adds to his career high. Number 23, a ball right over the middle of the plate. Tony gets good extension with the bat. Swings it like he's capable of. And that is a big home run for this Angel ball club.
Here's Damian Easley. And he takes ball one from Jose Parra.
One of the best things that a pitcher can do when his club gives you a lead, whether it's the first inning, the fifth inning, or the ninth, is to shut that team down 1, 2, 3 when you come out in the next half inning. Parra wasn't able to do it.
Here's a foul back. Easily with that .212 average, you'd like to think he's a better hitter than that. Tom Kelly has watched Parra now, picked up from the Dodgers in 7 starts. He didn't like the home run, obviously, from Phillips. Parra has not been real consistent with the Twins. He breaks in a curve, and it's 1-2 on Easley.
One of the things about Parra that Dick Such, the Twins pitching coach, told me is that he throws a 4-seam fastball and a 2-seam fastball that sinks very well. He wishes he would throw the 4-seamer just a little bit more.
Now block. Coomer, and 1 out. Baseball Night in America is brought to you by Chevrolet. The cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. Smooth Busch Beer and easy drinking Busch Light. And Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth. Jose Parra, just 22 years of age, gives up a leadoff home run to Tony Phillips. Easily grounds out, and now he faces Jim Edmonds, the Angels center fielder. And the fastball in for a strike. Edmonds has very good numbers by any standard. Only his second season, hitting .293, 30 homers, 97 RBIs. But again, he has struggled lately. 1 ball, 1 strike. When he is hitting well, he has a short stroke. He'll go to all fields. When he's struggling, tends to get a long swing, tends to pull off pitches quite a bit.
And a big uppercut. A lot of home run hitters have an uppercut to begin with, but once you increase that plane just a little bit, that's when you get in trouble. And Jimmy's had a lot of trouble recently pulling off balls. I talked to Rod Crew earlier down on the field, and he says Jimmy just needs to swing through the ball a little bit more instead of pulling off.
He gets a favorable count, 3-1. Rod Carew, notebooks, pens, tapes. He is a student. He is a teacher. He is a terrific hitting coach.
Don't you think this slump is driving him crazy? He's probably staying up all night long watching the tapes now.
And Edmonds draws a walk. You know, we talked about Tony Phillips leading the league in runs scored. Well, Jim Edmonds now at first base is second in the league in runs scored. He has hit second much of the season, though he's hitting third in the order tonight.
I started to tell you about Dick Such, the pitching coach, talking about Parra earlier today. He really would like him to throw that 4-seam fastball a little bit more than the 2-seamer. He's got good power with it, and he thinks he can be a little bit more of a power pitcher. He also has a pretty good curveball to go along with it. And one of his best pitches is probably his changeup, which is a circle change. He throws that very, very well.
Chili Davis is at the plate, the 7th leading hitter in the league, and Chili pushed back. Ball 1. Even Chili is struggling a bit. He is only 2 for his last 14. Checking in with the third base coach, Rick Burleson. The Angels do not steal a lot of bases, but they will hit and run on occasion. 2-0 on Davis, and now all of a sudden you've got a situation where you might want to make the youngster Parra show you that he's going to throw some strikes consistently. On deck, the aforementioned Tim Salmon. 1-1 in the first. Chili taps one, foul, 2-1. He didn't quite get as good a 2-0 pitch as he might have liked.
If you look at the numbers on this recently completed road swing back to the East Coast, you can really see overall why the Angels scuffle so much to score runs. Phillips at 219, Easley 190, Edmonds 148, Davis 200, Garrett Anderson 219. Timmy Salmon was really the only guy that led this ball club. He had 417 on the road trip. We mentioned too, the pitching was off as well. I mean, you can't win when you got poor pitching and you don't hit the ball.
The 2-1 pitch. Grounded to Parra. He wheels to Mears. One on to Coomer. A double play. And after an inning in Anaheim, the Twins and Angels tied at 1.
All Night in America studio. Here's how the story unfolded tonight for the Cleveland Indians hosting Baltimore. Eddie Murray at the plate in the bottom of the third, facing Kevin Brown with a 2-run single. Murray went 3 for 4 tonight. On to the ninth, the Indians leading 3-2, the final out of the game, and with the call, here's Tom Hamilton.
In the air, Tony at third, and this season of dreams has become a reality. Cleveland, you will have an October to remember.
The Indians have made it to postseason play for the first time since 1954 when they were swept by the Giants in the World Series. Since the institution of divisional play, they are the quickest to clinch a division title. The champions of the AL Central on September 8th, and Mike Hargrove getting the Gatorade bath from his team as we congratulate the Cleveland Indians and their long-suffering fans. Let's send it back to Anaheim.
Thank you very much, Hannah. So that's great for the folks in Cleveland. It has been a long time. They clinch it with that victory over Baltimore. Man, oh man, new ballpark. You always knew it would be a real good baseball town if they had a nice ballpark. And of course, 1954, that was a while ago when Bill Veeck had that great team and they drew in the old ballpark on the lake. You never know what will happen in postseason play. It could be the Angels and the Indians.
There were probably a couple of wows in Cleveland tonight, I bet.
I'll bet.
Huh?
Langston working here in the second. Cordova has grounded to third, and he's facing Ron Coomer.
I'm really happy for that city of Cleveland. Cleveland really had a bad name for a long time. A lot of players never wanted to go to Cleveland. They have really done a great job in that downtown area and that waterfront area. Of course, the new ballpark. It's just really fun to go to Cleveland now. Now with a great ball club. I'm excited for those people who suffered for a lot of years.
The 2-1 pitch. Coomer lines it to left, and it'll fall in a hurry in front of Garrett Anderson. A one-out Coomer single here in the second inning. Coomer in the Dodger organization the last few years hit .322 in Albuquerque this season, and one of many trades that the Twins made, getting rid of high-priced players, basically getting young players in those deals, and Coomer coming from the Dodger organization.
Yeah, he came over for Tapani and Mark Guthrie. He's really a third baseman by trade, but the Twins have tried 10 different first basemen this year. 10 people have tried to play first base over there, and Coomer is one of them. Been a tough guy to replace, that Kent Hrbek.
They've used quite a few people at first base in the short time since Hrbek has been gone. This is Matt Wahlbeck, the switch hitting catcher. Second year with the Twins, a little bit the year before with the Cubs. They used 10 different players, the Twins have, at first base. But then they've used a lot of players, including 16 rookies here in '95, and they've actually played pretty well since they made those trades, sending Scott Erickson to Baltimore, Rick Aguilera to Boston, Kevin Tapani to the Dodgers. A lot like Kansas City, going with fresh new faces, and both teams have actually played pretty well. 1-1 is the score here in the second inning in Anaheim. Langston, great move, and he almost catches Ron Coomer.
Well, before we go any further, we better talk about Mark Langston's move. He actually has two. He's got a real good hang move where he can suspend himself over the rubber for a couple of seconds, then decide at the last second to go over to first base, and he almost got Coomer leaning. He also has a step-off move where he can deliver the ball quickly after stepping off without making much of a movement towards first base. Mark's one of the best athletes in the game of baseball. Many-time Gold Glove winner, won it again last year, 1994.
Walbeck takes it. And
Six
the
times.
count is 3-0.
This is 6 times I think that Langston's won the Gold Glove, if I'm not mistaken. Been a 19-game winner twice in his career. Mark, not really the strikeout pitcher, the power pitcher that he once was when he first came to the big leagues, so he's got to change speeds a lot more now. A little smarter pitcher.
Three balls, one strike. Langston's count on Walbeck with Coomer at first, 1 out in the second inning. Knobloch led off the game with a home run. And then Tony Phillips, the Angels leadoff hitter, answered with a home run of his own. And it is 1-1. Kansas City has scored up in Seattle in the second inning. Here's a drive in the gap in right center. Can anyone get there? It is Edmonds diving. Oh, what a catch! And back to first goes Coomer. What a catch by Jim Edmonds in right center field.
Well, that catch by Jimmy Edmonds saves extra bases and perhaps a second Twins run. That's a great running catch. Leaves his feet. Watch Timmy Salmon backing up too, just in case. That's a tough play sometimes for outfielders as they converge. One has to decide who's going to make that play, and the other one has to back up. I know Sam Saplazio, part-time outfield coach for the Angels, is in town, and he's got to be happy with that one. Sam does a great job with these young outfielders.
Minnesota shortstop Pat Mears at the plate. Coomer at first, 2 away, second inning. Langston's fastball upstairs, ball 1. The Royals getting that run up in Seattle. The Angels, of course, and their fans are concerned about the two teams trying to catch them, Seattle and Texas. Of course, Milwaukee defeating Texas 10-1 at County Stadium. Boy, the Rangers really struggling. They now are 7.5 behind the Angels. They've lost 5 of 6, 10 of their last 12. Missing a great opportunity. Runner goes, pitch a ball, throw in time, and the tag by easily nails Ron Coomer. And that ends the Twins' second inning. Tim Salmon leads it off in the Angels' half.
Last half inning. Well, first let's look at Scott Leas, the new third baseman for the Twins. Reboulet moves over to first base from third base because Ron Coomer injured himself on the stolen base attempt to end the inning. Got to be a hamstring. Good throw by Greg Myers, right on the money. Plenty of time for Damon Easley to get the tag over. Actually gets a pretty good jump. Looked to me like he might have pulled his hamstring as he goes into second base. He's a little gingerly.
So Ron Coomer has to leave, limping off. And the Angels come up here in the second inning. Tim Salmon leading off against Jose Parra. And he takes the fastball, ball 1. Salmon hitting .332. That's 4th in the league. 32 homers, 5th in the league. 90 RBIs, 10th in the league. What a year for the Angels right fielder. That's a strike, and it is 1-1. Salmon, Snow, and Anderson here in the second against the youngster Parra.
You know, the thing that's impressed me the most about Timmy Salmon since coming to the big leagues, and I'm sure his work ethic was the same in the minor leagues, Ken, but this guy just works constantly every day to get better, whether it's in the batting cage or taking fly balls and ground balls in the outfield every day. He loves to play the game. It kind of goes unnoticed because he's a quiet type guy. He doesn't really blow his own horn. I mean, he just goes out and does a great, solid job every year. He's getting better each year.
2-2. Salmon, in that loss to the Twins and Parra at the Metrodome August 12th, hit one of his 32 home runs. He was about the only Angel that really had a big game against Parra. And that's about the only big game Parra has had. He's basically struggled. Broken bat, looper to right. It falls, a base hit. Salmon will surprise you. He'll hit the ball to the opposite field quite a bit. He now has a 10-game hitting streak.
Well, Timmy hits this one off the end of the bat. I'll tell you what, you don't mind that bat being broken when you can loop one in. I made a great career of doing that myself, Ken. Used to order them bats pre-cracked below the label so it wouldn't carry too far to the outfielders.
They all count, right?
They all count. I got a lot of those suckers.
294 for J.T. Snow, 19 home runs, 87 RBIs. The Twins in double play depth. Parra high with a fastball, ball one. Snow checks in with Burleson as Parra gets ready to work. Salmon has very good speed. He's not a speedster, but for a big man, he runs extremely well. A very smart base runner. There is the third base coach, Rick Burleson.
Yeah, there's really a big difference in a guy that runs well and a base stealer. You have to have the knowledge of the pitchers, what type of move they have, how you get your jump, when the right pitch might be to go. Not everyone can do that.
That's a strike, 1-1 on J.T. Snow. JT's dad, the great football player, Jack Snow, who has moved to St. Louis from Southern California and is an analyst on the St. Louis Rams radio broadcasts and has other duties with the organization. There goes Salmon, ground ball, gloved by Reveille. Only play is to the bag at first, and the Angels stay out of the double play. Salmon into scoring position with one out.
Well, it's a hit and run, and what that means to a hitter is he's got to swing the bat regardless of where the pitch is. J.T. Snow does a great job of putting this ball in play and keeping it on the ground. That's what you want to do in a hit and run situation when you're the hitter. Hit the ball hard somewhere on the ground, move the runner along into scoring position.
1-1 the score. Salmon out at second with one out for Garrett Anderson. Garrett Anderson having a big year, though like many of his teammates, he's cooled off lately. He takes a strike. He and Marty Cordova, probably the top two candidates for AL Rookie of the Year.
Well, Marty Cordova, the rookie from Minnesota, has a little bit of an edge on Garrett because he's played more games. He's got about 100 more at bats, but you look at the numbers for both of them, they're really, really good. Anderson, of course, has them in batting average. Cordova in home runs and RBIs.
Fly ball to left, and there's Cordova to retire Anderson, and Salmon remains at second base. Cordova, early in the season, of course, was getting a lot of attention, and at that time, Garrett Anderson was playing in the minor leagues. I think now most people feel that Garrett Anderson, if he can put anything together the rest of the way, could win the nod for Rookie of the Year. But there's no question, both have had the type of season that in a typical year would win that award for them.
How about Troy Percival in the bullpen? There's another candidate that probably hasn't been noticed, especially lately, because he hasn't been getting in ball games.
Myers, the catcher, with that .258 average. And it's ball one. That's where that Sporting News Rookie Player of the Year and Rookie Pitcher of the Year comes in.
Yes, sir.
Not too often you see a pitcher named Rookie of the Year. I think the tendency is to want to go to an everyday player, but it happens just like the MVP. 1-1 the count on Myers. Greg Myers trying to come up with a big two-out hit here in the second inning in Anaheim. The outfield is very spread on Myers, and it's 2-1. Pretty big gaps in left center and right center.
Mentioned those outfielders, and Marty Cordova with 11 assists. Puckett has 9. Rich Becker has 9 also. They've got a lot of assists out there. Tom Kelly said something rather humorous the other day. He said that's because we've got a lot of base runners on base and a lot of guys running around those bases.
Good hook, and it's 2-2.
He wasn't too impressed with all his assists.
Well, it means one thing, that teams are willing to run on you.
Well, the Twins, of course, with the highest earned run average in all of baseball with their young staff. So a lot of guys out there running around.
1-1 here in the second inning. Salmon at second with 2 outs. Swing and a miss. Parra has his first strikeout, and after 2 in Anaheim, it's 1-1. It is a beautiful night here in Southern California. Full moon, 1-1 score. Gorgeous day today in the 80s. It's the time of the year where you start to get the warm days in Southern California into October. And cools off nicely here in the evening. Pat Mears leads it off. 258, 9 homers, 36 RBIs. Third inning, and he fouls Langston's first pitch into the crowd.
One of the things Mears has improved on this year, Ken, is his home run punch. He's got 9 home runs this year. Batting coach Terry Crowley of the Twins has been working with him to try to get a little bit of a leg kick, a timing device, kind of like Kirby Puckett does to help him. Remember when Kirby first came up, he wasn't really a home run hitter, and Tony Oliva helped him with that. Decided that leg kick would help Kirby. It's tough for a lot of hitters to do it because it's a tough timing thing. A lot of times you have to have tremendous balance to be able to lift that leg up. It seemed to help Pat Mears this year.
The 1-1, and he fouls it. 1-2. Mears, a young man from Wichita State. He is hitting in front of Rich Becker. Then it'll be the top of the order, Chuck Knobloch, whose 10th homer of the year leading off the game, has given the Twins their run. Tony Phillips led off the Angels first with a home run of his own. 1-1 in the third. Mears struggling a bit lately with a bat, and he taps one right back to Langston, and there's one away. Well, the Rockies defeat the Reds 10-5. Rockies going into play tied with the Dodgers. They both win. Of course, San Diego not too far off the pace. Astros a big win at Philadelphia. Cubs at home against the Giants. St. Louis wins for the second night in a row, defeating the Padres tonight. So the Padres fall 4.5 off the pace in the National League West. And the Mets shut out the Expos 5-0. Braves a win in Miami, so it'll get you up to date on some of the other action in Major League Baseball. Switch hitting center fielder Rich Becker, 233, 2 homers, 28 RBIs. Does not hit much from the right side, and it's 1-1. That's the second foul in as many hitters. It's taken a pretty good chunk out of Greg Myers.
Oh, those are fun, believe me.
Now, you ought to know, right? Big league catcher.
I love it. When it's not me, I love it. Greg Myers, when I was coaching over here those 2 years, can't seem to take more foul tips than anybody I'd seen in a long time. Now, Rich Becker is hitting just 164 right-handed, 251 left-handed. There's been some talk that he might go play a little bit of winter ball this year, or maybe some instructional leg, and perhaps just hit left-handed. He's really scuffled right-handed. They're not sure if he can hit right-handed as a switch hitter.
He's got a tough left-hander he has to deal with tonight in Mark Langston. Breaking pitch. He waves at it. He's out of there. Larry McCoy, the plate umpire, makes the call. There are 2 outs, and that's strikeout number 1 for Langston.
Well, Rich Becker chases a pitch here down in the dirt. I guess he went far enough. 99% of the time, if umpires would just say yes he went, they'd probably be right. Every time you see those replays, it seems like they've gone far enough.
Larry McCoy calling balls and strikes tonight. Chuck Knobloch, 10th homer of the year in the first. Hit 10 homers in his first 4 big league seasons. He skies one to right, down the line. Salmon over in a hurry. He's got a lot of room. Makes the catch. And the Twins go 1-2-3 in the third inning. To the bottom of the third in Anaheim, the Twins and the Angels are tied at 1, and Dick Schofield is going to lead it off. Almost strange to see him back in an Angels uniform. 32 years of age. Early August, after Gary DiSarcina went down with a serious thumb injury, the Angels signed Schofield. He was at home. They called him. He went down to Arizona, worked out, then went to Vancouver, played 16 games there. Gary DiSarcina still has his left thumb heavily bandaged. They miss his .317 bat, and they miss his defense. Parra, nice play on the grounder from Schofield, and Dick Schofield is retired, leading off here in the third.
You can talk all you want about the Angels' recent slump, both pitching and hitting, but I think Gary DiSarcina is a guy that helped this ball club tremendously at shortstop with his defense and with his bat this year. Whatever Rod Carew has done with this guy has been amazing to me, because Gary DiSarcina, when he was brought to the big leagues a few years ago, was thought to be only a defensive player. And right now, Gary DiSarcina is showing some stock with his bat earlier in the year prior to the injury, and he has a chance to be a great productive major league hitter.
Slow roller hit by Phillips. Knobloch throws him out, and they're 2 away quickly here in the Angels' third. This Minnesota Twins team, the worst ERA in the majors at 5.79.
Well, they've allowed a major league leading 179 homers, counting Chuck Knobloch's tonight. The projection in a regular 162 game schedule, 240, which would surpass the Orioles record in 1987.
22 pitchers, that's a lot to use.
Tony Phillips home run in there. Well, a lot of young ones too. Dick Such has had his hands full teaching these guys at the big league level.
Easily grounded to Knobloch in the opening inning. It's 1-1 here in the third with 2 outs and nobody on for the Angels, and a ball and a strike on Easley. Parra making his 8th major league start, just his 16th big league appearance. Ground ball. He got an inside fastball, pulls it between Leyes and the bag. Easily into second base with a 2-out double here in the third, and that is the 3rd Angels hit.
Parra tries to come inside, gets the ball down in the zone just a little bit, about 5 high. Damon Easley is able to pull it down the left field line for a 2-out double. Boy, that'd give the Angels a big boost. They get Easley hitting a little bit. He's the guy who has surprised me when I first saw him coaching here a couple of years ago. He had a year over 300. I really thought that he would be a guy who could hit 270, 280 pretty consistently. But the last couple of years, last year 94 and this year, he has not lived up to what I thought he would be.
Jim Edmonds takes a ball. Jim walked in the first inning. Jim, of course, has been a big RBI man for the Angels. 97 of them. There are only 4 players in the league with more RBIs. So a big spot here in the third, tied at 1 with 2 outs. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. One thing about Parra, he can get that fastball up. Looks like it's relatively straight, but he can rear back and throw it.
Yeah, I mentioned before, Dick Such, the Twins pitching coach, said he wishes he would throw that 4-seamer a little bit more. He's got more confidence in his 2-seamer that sinks, trying to get ground balls with that, but it looks like he does have a pretty good juice on that 4-seamer.
1 and 2 on Edmonds. Parra from the Dominican Republic. We mentioned he is at age 22. There's the pitching coach, Dick Such. And at age 22, Jose Parra is in his 7th professional season. He was pitching as a pro in the Dominican Summer League when he was 16 years of age. He's got a lot of experience.
I don't think I started dating yet, let alone playing professionally by then.
2 and 2.
Talk about this Minnesota Twins staff with the highest ERA in baseball. We looked at Dick Such a moment ago in the Twins dugout. He knows all about adversity. He went 0-16 one time in Double-A ball with a 2.8 ERA. How in the heck do you do that?
He didn't have much offensive support. Maybe he didn't have much defensive support.
He knows about tough years for pitching staffs. You can relate to these young Twins pitchers.
A full count on Edmonds. with easily at second and 2 outs. Not too long ago, this was a world championship team with an outstanding pitching staff.
Well, look at the difference. Gone up each year. Tough to win with a 5.79 ERA. I don't care how much offense you have. Knobloch and Puckett can only carry you so far.
Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And the Angels leave a runner. We'll return with Baseball Night in America, the Twins and Angels, after this from your local station. The Twins here in the 4th inning with first baseman Jeff Rebele leading it off. Swings and misses at a fastball. Fouls this one back, and Langston with a quick 2-strike count. Rebele in the 1st inning grounded out to short. He'll be followed by Kirby Puckett and then the DH Pedro Munoz. One and two on Rebele, young man from the Dayton, Ohio area. Kettering, Ohio, actually still lives there. It's a fly ball softly to left. Garrett Anderson. And there's 1 out. Baseball Night in America is brought to you by Buick and your local dealers. Remember Buick, the new symbol for quality in America. Beechwood Aged Budweiser, the king of beers. This Bud's for you. And Network MCI, how to get modern communications technology working for your business. Ken Wilson along with John Wathan. We're happy to have you in Southern California and Anaheim. 4th inning, and Kirby Puckett digging in against Mark Langston. It's 1-1, the Twins and the Angels. And that is ball 1.
And one of the things that surprised me about Mark Langston this year, Ken, I don't know about you, but left-handers have hit .313 versus Mark Langston this year. And the right-handers have only hit .260.
This has been hit a long way. Edmonds at the wall. It is gone. Home run number 23 for Kirby Puckett. And the Twins take the lead 2-1. That's 2 homers tonight given up by Langston. And he's given up his 16th and 17th of the season. RBI 89 for Puckett.
Well, that's Kirby's 6th home run in the last 10 ball games. He's been on fire like only Kirby Puckett can get. Langston throws him a breaking ball down. Kirby looks like he's a little bit out in front, but the hands are back, which allows him to drive that ball over Edmonds' head. And out of the comfortable ballpark, the big A.
Pedro Munoz, and he's pushed back. Ball 1.
Very good hitting ballpark is Anaheim Stadium. I don't know that it's changed much since they enclosed it back in 80, I believe. Still a good hitting ballpark.
And the 1-0 is fouled away. The Twins, we mentioned, winning 7 of their last 9, having a big homestand, and everybody said, well, Chuck, Knobloch, Kirby Puckett, we mentioned it to you at the beginning of the evening. And how do the Twins have a 2-1 lead? Knobloch and Puckett have hit home runs. The Angels run coming on a Tony Phillips 4-bagger.
Does that mean we're smart?
Means that you go with what's there.
Go with the hot guys, and hopefully they're still hot during the ballgame.
3 balls and a strike on Munoz, who in his career has not been able to hit Langston. And there is Marty Cordova on deck.
Munoz is a guy who can just flat out hit. Never been known for being the greatest outfielder in the world, but this guy consistently puts up pretty good numbers. Kind of overshadowed by Kirby Puckett and Chuck Knobloch, but quietly putting together a good year. 317, 18 home runs, and 54 RBIs.
3-2 the count on Munoz. Bases empty, 1 out. He rips this into the crowd.
One of the things about Munoz, to get him out is you have to crowd him. He's a low ball hitter who has a pretty good uppercut. So you don't want him to get extended. You got to keep the ball in on him and change speeds off him.
The Twins have taken the lead 2-1 here in the 4th on the Puckett home run. Into the hole, Phillips recovers, and they're 2 outs. Sunday, Mad About You moves to its new night, Sunday at 8, 7 Central. Must-see TV comes to NBC next Sunday with Mad About You right here on NBC. Marty Cordova led off the second, grounding to third, hitting .274 now, and a breaking ball fools him 1 strike.
Cordova, an Orange Coast product, Orange Coast College, not too far from here. Also went to the UNLV over in Las Vegas.
92, the California League Player of the Year, just 3 seasons ago. Fourth inning in Anaheim, and the Twins have a 2-1 lead over the Angels. Center field, Edman starts back, comes in, and that retires the side. On to the bottom of the fourth. The Angels down by a run. Young Jose Parra has been impressive here in the early going. He'll deal with Davis, Salmon, and Snow here in the fourth inning. The Angels in the early going showing one of their weaknesses lately, and that has been the inability to come up with the big hit. Second inning, runner at second, 1 out. Anderson flies out, Myers strikes out. Last inning, 2-out double, and Edman strikes out. So already the Angels have stranded a pair in scoring position.
One of the things that's really impressed me about Chili Davis this year is his walks and his strikeouts. Chili, a guy who was very capable several years of striking out over 100 times, just 68 this year. It's really helped out his batting average, obviously, and with 80 walks to go along with it. It's a pretty good ratio. Really hitting for a higher average the last couple years than he ever did when he was young. You learn a lot. Excuse me, Ken. When you get older, you learn a lot. I wish I had learned a little bit quicker when I was playing.
The 2-0 pitch, and it's 3-0. And Walbeck will go out and talk with Parra. Of course, Chili Davis played with the Angels, went to Minnesota, enjoyed the fruits of hard work and a great talented team and a world championship. Now back to Anaheim, and he has been a terrific designated hitter for the Angels. I think he is extremely hungry to get back to the World Series. The 3-0 pitch, and that's a strike. Twins 1991. Well, they had some big years prior to that also. 3-2 on Chile. Of course, 87 they were in the World Series.
The unusual thing about those 2 World Series championships in 87 and 91, all 8 wins in those 2 years came at the Metrodome for the Twins. No place like home.
Well, that place was noisy both World Series. Chili Davis strikes out leading off the fourth. Now let's get an update on things from Hannah Storm.
Hey, thanks a lot. Wild card showdown as the Royals visit the Mariners. Bottom of the third, Kansas City up 1-0, but Luis Sojo with a 2-run shot off Jason Hockamy to put the Mariners up by a score of 2-1. With a victory tonight, they could tie things up atop the wild card standings with Kansas City. White Sox at Oakland, couple of teams that need to climb over a few teams in the wild card race. Frank Thomas will try to help with 2 on. The blooper of Todd Van Poppel. He has 96 RBI now on the year. That was the start of a 3-run rally. White Sox lead the A's 3-zip. Back to Anaheim.
Thank you very much, Hannah. The batter is Tim Salmon. How about those White Sox? They really don't have much of a chance in the wild card race, but all of a sudden they start to win. And I know Angels fans are concerned, because on this California 9-game homestand, the red-hot White Sox will come to town. Here's Salmon hoisting one to shallow right. Knobloch out there, and the second baseman makes the catch, and there are 2 outs. The Angels fans are concerned about second place Seattle and even third place Texas possibly. Concerned mostly about the Mariners if they were to win again tonight. And then of course the other race besides the race for first in the West, as Hannah mentioned, Seattle trying to move into the top spot in the wild card race, which is tight between the Royals, the Mariners, the Yankees, and even Texas yet to a degree. It's complicated. Ball one on JT Snow. You've got to follow not only 3 divisions, but the wild card race, almost a 4th division of its own.
Well, one of the things that happens when a team is playing bad, it seems like they're always playing teams that are on fire. Right now the Twins are playing very well. We're going to have the Royals in this homestand. They're playing very well. They're young club. The White Sox are playing very, very well. So it's not going to be an easy chore this next week or 10 days for them.
Snow grounded to first back in the second inning, but that, you recall, was on a hit and run after Salmon led off with a single. It moved Salmon to second with 1 out. 2-1. Minnesota leads it in the 4th inning.
Jose Parra reminds me, his build anyway, of Tommy Gordon for the Kansas City Royals. They're both about the same size, 5'9", 5'10", about 170 pounds, rather slight. You think about it, not many right-handed pitchers that have been that size, that stature, have pitched for a long time successfully in the big leagues. Usually your right-handers are your big guys. Your left-handers are usually the little guys. Don't ask me why.
Boy, in this day and age, there are not all that many smallish players. JT Snow strikes out. Angels go in order, and after 4 in Anaheim, 2-1 Minnesota. The Twins lead the Angels 2-1 going to the 5th inning. This date in history going back a mere 30 years. Bert Campaneris, Campy, the A's shortstop at the time in Kansas City, the first player in big league history to play all 9 positions in the same game. Campy Campaneris.
And he is still doing well. I played golf in a tournament with Bert in Kansas City about a week ago.
Later, Cesar Tovar in 68 played all 9 positions. Leyes leading off the 5th, and it's 1-1. Now check it, 0-2. Bert Campaneris. I played golf with him recently. I'm going to say 2 or 3 years ago I saw him play in an old timers type charity game. Played shortstop. Looked good.
Flawless, probably.
Thought he was ready to go.
When he first came to the A's as a young kid, a lot of people thought he couldn't play shortstop. They were thinking of moving him to the center field, but he worked very, very hard and became a great shortstop.
1-2 pitch, cut on and missed, and Leyes is out of there. A pair of strikeouts for Langston. Mark has not walked anyone.
Well, that's what Mark Langston needs to do. He needs to change speeds, use his breaking ball as well as his changeup. That's a curveball down in the zone. Scott Leyes isn't able to do anything with it. Might mention Scott Leyes came into the game, replaced Ron Coomer. He left with a hamstring injury as he was attempting a stolen base back in the second inning.
Wallbeck talks one foul, 1 strike.
The left medial hamstring. Remember when it used to be just a hamstring injury?
Got the medial hamstring going.
What is that opposed to? What do you oppose a medial to? Upper, lower, medial?
I have my medical glossary with me.
You do.
I'm going to have to pull it out for you, John. Here's the 1 strike pitch. Lifted down the right field line. The ball will go foul and out of the reach of everyone except for a fan who does a somersault and then says, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. That was a quick scramble back. I didn't mean to.
That's play of the game, at least by effort. Effort-wise, that's got to be the play of the game. Maybe nobody will notice if I fall out of here, get this ball, take a header, jump back. Oh, nobody's watching. Nobody sees me. Oh, stumble. Helped by the buddy. Okay, sit down. Nothing happened. Got a ball.
That's a career highlight right there. Van Wallbeck in the dirt. 1-2, and that slows up Myers a little bit. The umpire grabs the ball, Larry McCoy, so he's going to kill some time.
It's like he took it in the hands just a little bit. I notice on that replay, Greg Myers had his hand open. You're taught as a young catcher to keep that hand closed, so if it does hit the closed fist, you won't get a finger. He had it open in that particular case, and that's probably why he got a little bit of damage done to that hand.
A lot of youngsters, John, you might not know this, were taught something even better. Don't be a catcher.
Don't be a catcher.
Save you a lot of grief. Wahlbeck strikes out. 2 down here in the 5th. Well, Sunday NBC Sports presents an exciting NFL doubleheader beginning at 12:30 Eastern with the NFL on NBC. Featured on our doubleheader lineup, most of you will see Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and the Dallas Cowboys fresh off their 35-0 shutout of the Giants as they take on the dangerous John Elway and the Denver Broncos. In our early games, most of you will see an AFC East showdown between Marino's Dolphins and Bledsoe's Patriots. Others will see the Raiders visit Washington or the Steelers battle the Oilers. Then in game 2 of our doubleheader, most of you will see the Denver-Dallas showdown or regional action. Be sure to check your local listings. It all gets started Sunday at 12:30 Eastern. The NFL on NBC will take you all the way to Super Bowl 30 in Tempe, Arizona. Matt Mears the batter. 2-0 the count. 2 outs, nobody on in the Twins' 5th. Minnesota leading 2-1. Mark Langston's pitch, and he gets a strike.
One of the concerns by the Angels staff was that Mark Langston a couple of weeks ago with his tendonitis problem in his left shoulder was going to shelve him for a while. As you look at pitching coach Chuck Hernandez and Marcel Latchman on the left, he seems to have battled back from that tendonitis. Pitching well again. Struggled his last 3 starts, just 1 and 2 with a 7.79, but tonight he's doing a pretty good job of mixing speeds. I talked to Mark earlier, and he said that's what he has to do to be successful. He realizes now he's not a power pitcher like he was when he was young.
Mears strikes out. They complete it, and Langston strikes out the side. 2-1 Twins lead.
Well, as we move to the bottom of the 5th, you see California down by 1 to the Minnesota Twins. Mark Langston just struck out the side the last inning. We talked about changing speeds and how important that is to Mark Langston as you look at him in the dugout. All 3 strikeouts were with the breaking ball. That's changing speeds and doing it well, striking out the side.
He has 4 strikeouts through 5, has not walked anyone. The long ball has hurt him. Knobloch homered in the 1st. Puckett homered in the 4th. Here are the Angels in the 5th. Garrett Anderson leads it off against rookie Jose Parra, and it's strike 1. Anderson flied to left in the 2nd inning. He'll be followed by Myers and Schofield. This is the bottom 3rd of Marcel Latchman's batting order. A off-speed pitch, 1-1.
Well, Parra's done a good job of changing speeds as well. He's matching Langston very well with the off-speed pitches. He's got a great changeup, as we mentioned earlier. 2 fastballs, a 4-seamer that he throws straight, and a 2-seamer.
There's a base hit. He comes back hard, and Garrett Anderson is ready. That's the 4th Angels hit, and it comes leading off the 5th inning. The Mariners with that 2-1 lead on that Soho homer. The Mariners trying to gain ground on the Angels. They started the night 6 back. Texas started the night 7 back, now 7.5 after their big loss in Milwaukee. Texas has lost 10 of 12. And the Red Sox rolling along. They don't get a win, but it's just a matter of time. They had won 5 in a row. Their lead still 14.5 over New York. Greg Myers went down swinging in the 2nd inning. Parra has, like Langston, struck out 4. Ground ball, base hit, right field. Anderson will pull up at 2nd and hold on as Puckett gets the ball back in. And the Angels, John Wathan, have back-to-back singles leading off in the 5th inning.
Well, Myers gets a high fastball, is able to pull it in the hole between 1st and 2nd base. Right out over the plate. Garrett Anderson might be a rookie, but he knows about Kirby Puckett and his arm. He's still got a good arm, and Kirby knows how to play right field. You notice the way he charges the ball. That's going to stop a 3rd base coach as much as anything from bringing the guy over to 3rd base when you charge a ball like that.
Tom Kelly's infield is looking for the bunt possibility here with Dick Schofield coming up. Grounded to the pitcher, leading off the third. He's got runners at first and second. Nobody out in the fifth. His team, his new team, as of today, the Angels down by a run, and Wahlbeck will go out and visit with Parra.
What Wahlbeck's doing right now is talking about the signs, either because there's a man on second base, about the series of signs, which will be different when you don't have anyone on second. He also might be telling about his responsibility in a bunt play in this situation, where he's supposed to go, whether he charges straight in, whether he covers the third base line.
They expect the bunt. Schofield takes the pitch. It's a ball. Throw to second. Anderson goes to third. Nobody there. A heads-up play by Garrett Anderson. Remaining at first is Greg Myers as Wahlbeck throws through, but Leyes was charging the third baseman.
Well, Garrett Anderson is really a no man's land here because he's caught off second base. Mears has nowhere to throw. And Garrett Anderson gets a pretty easy stolen base.
Typically on plays like that, or at least frequently, the third baseman will be anchored at third until the bunt is down the third baseline and the pitcher can't make the play, and the third baseman is forced to. Consequently, that kind of thing can't happen. Here's a ground ball. Mears turns it. It's a double play hit into by Schofield, but Anderson scores, and this one is tied at 2.
Get a break by getting Anderson over to third base. They're able to score a run on the double play.
Tony Phillips belted his 23rd home run of the season in the first inning. Rolled out to Knobloch in the third. Tony takes strike one.
I have to say Tony Phillips as a leadoff hitter is probably comparable to Ricky Henderson in stances. From the opposite side of the plate, when Tony bats left-handed, he kind of crouches when he bats right-handed as well. That's a tough target to hit as a pitcher.
Bouncer, Knobloch. On to Rebele. The Angels get a run, and after 5, it is tied at 2. Sixth inning, and Rich Becker leads off for Minnesota, the 9th hitter in the order. 2-2 the score. Langston delivers a strike. Knobloch on deck, then Rebele. Becker struck out back in the third. And it's 0-2. Langston, after his 14th victory, John mentioned he has lost his last 2 starts and gone 2-3 in his last 5. Strike 3 pitches. He strikes out Langston, and with the Becker strikeout, Langston has 4 straight strikeouts. Rockies Dodgers both win, still tied for first in the NL West.
Well, I mentioned Langston with the 3 strikeouts last inning, all breaking balls. That's what happens to a team when they see 3 guys in a row get struck out by the breaking ball. They might go up there looking for the breaking ball. And Rich Becker took a fastball right down the center of the plate.
Knobloch, the home run in the first, flying to right in the third. He has hit over .350 in his career against the Angels. Out of Texas A&M. And sitting on a .340 average at the moment. 3rd leading hitter in the American League. Certainly looks like Seattle's Edgar Martinez will win the batting championship. His 2nd, and right-handed hitters winning batting championships a rarity. John talking about the home runs earlier, 9 and just over 200 at bats since the break. A lot of players, if they move along in their careers, get bit stronger, just a little bit more experience, able to hit a few more home runs.
I don't know that Chuck Knobloch will be a Ricky Henderson type leadoff hitter with all the home runs that Ricky has hit throughout his great career, but he's a guy that's going to hit the alleys a lot for you. A lot of doubles and triples.
Schofield close out Knobloch. That's 7 in a row retired by Mark Langston since Kirby Puckett's home run in the 4th inning broke a 1-1 tie. Next Friday night in prime time at 8 p.m. Pacific, join NBC Sports as the playoff races heat up on Baseball Night in America. Most of you next Friday will see the Royals battling for the AL wildcard spot right here in Anaheim to take on these same Angels. Others will see 2 teams battling for the National League wildcard spot as Tony Gwynn and the San Diego Padres host Mark Grace and the Chicago Cubs. Be sure to check your local listings for the game in your area next Friday night. Jeff Rebele hitless in 2 tries. Playing first base, started the game at 3rd.
Good utility player for this Twins ball club. Rebele can play just about everywhere. Really a singles type hitter, not a lot of power, but great defense. Having a great year offensively.
3-0.
One of the toughest things to do for a utility player is hit consistently, and he's hit very well this year. .310 coming into the game.
3-1. 2-2 in the 6th inning. You want to get Rebele here and force Puckett to lead off in the 7th. But he walks him. The first walk allowed tonight by Langston.
A more typical Mark Langston this evening against the Twins. 5 strikeouts, only 3 hits. One good thing in Mark Langston's favor, the 2 home runs were solo shots, and that's very important for your pitcher. Catfish Hunter gave up a lot of home runs for the Yankees and for the Oakland A's, Kansas City A's, but they were all solo, it seemed like, and that doesn't hurt you quite as bad.
First pitch misses. Ball 1 on Puckett. This Twins team will score some runs. They've been doing that lately. They have a .280 team batting average, 4th best in the league. Certainly Puckett and Knobloch and Munoz have led the way in that department, but they do have some offense. But again, they're last in the league in earned run average. But lately the pitching has been a little better. There's been extra offense, and that's why the Twins have been winning.
Well, I think it hurts the Twins. If you look at the numbers with the Angels, they've scored 114 more runs than they've given up. And Minnesota opponents have scored 156 more than them. So I always like to look at the opponent's runs as opposed to your runs, the difference. Angels well into the plus column, and the Minnesota Twins in last place well into the minus column. Opponents have scored a lot more runs than they have.
The Twins 46-74 record is the worst in the majors this season. Foul back, 1-1 on Puckett.
We talk about Cal Ripken, and certainly we should. The great week that he's had. How much fun you probably had Tuesday night in Baltimore.
Well, we had a good time. The Angels, of course, were there Tuesday when Ripken tied Gehrig, and Wednesday night when Cal broke the record with game number 2132, 2,132 straight games played.
Talk about the great ambassadors of the game of baseball. Of course, Nolan Ryan was a great one. George Brett, who had the opportunity of playing with him, coaching. But I'd have to say Kirby Puckett is right up there, too. Not many guys that like to play the game as much as Kirby Puckett. Still, at his age, at the ballpark every single day, very, very early, always hanging around the batting cage. As you look at Mark Langston's pickoff move, that's the step-off move that we were talking about earlier in the ball game. He showed the hang move earlier, and there's the step-off move with a lot on it on the throw to first base. Tough for a left-hander to make that move and not have his arm come out of his shoulder.
1 and 2 on Puckett. Well, you talk John Wathan about Cal Ripken. Played in his entire career in Baltimore. You mentioned George Brett, his entire career in Kansas City. Kirby Puckett, his entire career in Minnesota. Almost a dying breed in Major League Baseball.
Yeah, unfortunately, because it's really hard for fans now to identify with those guys that are together for a long, long time. And I think you're going to get hurt a little bit in the success column when you don't have that continuity. I look at a lot of the Royals ball clubs that I was fortunate enough to play on in the 70s, and we had 8, 10, 12 guys that were together for about a 10-year period. You know, winning division championships and getting to the World Series a couple of times. So I think that really makes a difference.
1-2 the count on Puckett. Langston pulls something out of his desk drawer. Sidearm, and he wasn't going to just go sidearm. He wanted to look like he wanted to go underground.
Yeah, reminiscent of Dan Quisenberry almost, who I played with. Normally the left-hander is going to use that sidearm Laredo move against a left-handed pitcher, or left-handed hitter, excuse me. You don't see it too often, left-hander against right-handed batter.
Looked like ball 3, but we talked about Puckett, a free swinger, and it remains 2-2.
Some guys just don't want to walk. They want to swing that bat. I remember Willie Wilson, longtime teammate of mine in Kansas City, later managed Willie. And he always said, even though he was a leadoff hitter, his job was to get on base. He said, if I'd wanted to walk, I'd have been a mailman.
That's right. Willie Wilson. Swing and a miss. Langston strikes out Puckett. In the bottom of the 6th, easily Edmonds and Davis 2 up for the Angels.
With the Twins and the Angels tied at 2, we'll take you to the bottom of the 6th at Anaheim in just a moment. But first, Seattle hosting Kansas City. Randy Johnson back on the mound and back in form, and he backs Tom Goodwin off the plate. Look at Goodwin's eyes. Johnson has good stuff tonight. Next pitch, gets him swinging. Johnson, 5 strikeouts on the night. He's missed a couple of games with various injuries, but he looks strong, and that is crucial to the Mariners down the stretch. They are up 2-1 over the Royals. White Sox and Oakland trying to stay in this playoff hunt. Mike Bordick with a 2-run home run off rookie Luis Andujar, making his major league debut. Andujar had a shutout going into the 5th. That pulled the A's within 1. It is now 3-2 Chicago. Let's get you back to Ken and John.
Thank you very much, Hannah. Boy, Seattle with Randy Johnson, I'm not going to say it's money in the bank, but if Seattle can win that, they'll tie Kansas City for a wild card spot. Still a long way to go, and Seattle believes that they still have a shot at catching California for the West Division title, as Easley leads off here in the 6th inning with this one tied at 2. Easley with one of the 5 Angels hits a double.
Well, one of the big keys for the Seattle Mariners to play well down the stretch, obviously, is the big unit, Randy Johnson. He's had a little bit of problem with his arm of recent.
Cordova makes the catch, 1 out here in the 6th inning. Baseball Night in America is brought to you by Tagamet HB. The most prescribed medication of this kind is now for heartburn. Pro Player. When you wear a Pro Player jacket, it's not just a jacket you wear, it's an attitude. And Toyota and their full line of quality cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. Anaheim Stadium, and Jim Edmonds at the plate in the 6th inning against rookie Jose Parra. This one tied at 2, and there's that fastball that gets by Edmonds in a hurry. Jim has walked and struck out tonight. Edmonds, in his last 35 at bats, has only 4 hits. Oh, 2.
Ken, did you happen to see the crowd the other day, Wednesday afternoon, when the Twins played the Tigers in Minnesota?
Thin. Called
Wow.
thin.
2,742.
Well, he threw 3 terrific pitches, and that's all it takes to strike out Edmonds.
Well, breaking ball seems to be the pitch tonight to get the strikeouts, and here's a good one. Jimmy goes fishing for a bad breaking ball in the dirt. That one's tough to hit. That's one that Kirby Puckett hits.
Yeah.
From time to time.
Not too many do.
Yogi Berra used to be a good one at hitting them when they bounced up there.
Here's Chili Davis. Chili is hit into a double play and taking a called third strike.
That crowd the other day in the Metrodome I mentioned, 2,700. The St. Paul Saints. It's an independent Class A team. The Northwest or the Northern League there. They drew more for their game than the Twins did at the Metrodome. It's a little scary. I think people are still a little bit upset. Of course, the Twins have not played well, although the last homestand we mentioned, they played very, very well.
2 strikes on Chili Davis.
Angels averaging about 24,000 now per game. School back in session. Crowds will thin out a little bit. Hopefully they'll get some pennant fever here in Anaheim though and keep coming out to watch this ball club.
The Angels' magic number is 16. Any combination of Angels victories and Seattle losses totaling 16 in this ball club will have clinched their 4th Western Division championship. There are 21 games remaining, including tonight. Their last was in 1986. They came so close, you recall, to the World Series. Parra kicks the ball. Probably played soccer in the Dominican. And safe at first is Davis. So Chili aboard with 2 outs here in the 6th inning.
Well, this is not a good play by the youngster Parra. He puts his foot where his glove should be and kicks it right over the bag. And the scramble is on after he kicks it. A veteran pitcher on the mound would know that he has a little more time than what he thought he did with Chili Davis running to first base. He could have made that play a little easier just by taking a little bit more time.
You sure he wasn't trying to just kick it into the air so he wouldn't have to reach down and then
That's possible.
grab it as he ran to the
A
bag?
little Pele work.
Here's Tim Salmon. 5 hits for the Angels. Salmon has 1 of them. The Twins have 3, but 2 of theirs are home runs, and it's 2-2. Ground ball right side. That's a base hit. Here's Chili Davis stopping at second, and with 2 outs, the Twins allow the door to open, and the Angels have 2 on for J.T. Snow.
Well, Timmy Salmon has not hit the ball hard tonight with his 2 base hits. This ball is in on him a little bit. He's able to fight it off and drive it by the second baseman Chuck Knobloch out into right field. Still 2 hits on the board for Timmy Salmon.
The Angels prior to this inning had left only 2 runners on base. Salmon in scoring position in the 2nd, Easley in scoring position in the 3rd. And unless they score to break the tie here in the 6th, they're again going to leave at least 1 runner in scoring position. So they need that big hit. They really have not had a big hit tonight. Phillips led off the first with a home run. The other run they scored to tie it last inning, the 5th, came on a double play ball that came off the bat of Dick Schofield.
Well, if you're an Angel fan, you could probably have a hard time remembering when the last big hit was for the Angels. It's been a while. They've really scuffled, as we mentioned all evening. This would certainly be some great medicine for this Angels ball club if J.T. Snow could come up with a big base hit and get in the lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Davis at second. Salmon at first. Parra on the mound in the 1-0 pitch. And it is 2-0. We talk about the race for the West Division title. A 6-game Angels lead with 21 games remaining. They do not have to get hot to clinch it. But they do have to win once in a while. They have to do better than they have been doing. You know, win 1 of every 3 or 4 anyway. Check swing, grounder. Mears bobbles the ball, picks it up, throws, not in time. The ball gets away from Rabelais. Davis will score, and the Angels take the lead 3-2. Now they're telling Salmon that he has to go back to third base. But a couple of errors by the Twins here in the 6th inning, and the Angels grab the lead 3-2.
The Angels catch a big break here. Here's first of all bobbles it. You could give him an error there, Ken, and then a second error on the throw. You really could give him 2 errors on that play. Probably didn't have too good a grip on it as he throws it hurriedly to first base.
And a fan reaches out and grabs the baseball, knocks it down. And a conference on the mound at third base. Salmon. JT Snow is out at second base with a run in. It is 3-2 California. And they are going to give a couple of errors on the play. JT Snow reaches first on an error, goes to second on a throwing error.
Number 60, left fielder, Garrett Anderson.
Now here's the reason why Salmon has to go back to the bag. Fan interference right here. And that's just senseless. You got a team here fighting for a division championship with a chance to score another run, and a fan does something like that. That really bothers me when that happens.
A fan takes a run away from the Angels. Anderson led off last inning with a single, 1 for 2. 2 in scoring position, so the Angels could make it a big inning. They lead 3-2. Liner, but foul. And quickly 2 strikes on Garrett Anderson.
This is a beautiful swing. The ball is down and in and really tough to keep fair. That's the biggest problem Garrett Anderson has with that particular pitch selection, is it's a pitch down and in off the plate. Really, really tough to keep it fair. Great hack at it, though. The Angels catch a break with those 2 errors.
A total of 3 Minnesota errors here in the inning. Salmon has a hit. Now the rhythmic applause begin among the Angels fans here in Anaheim. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, your team is struggling like the Angels have been the last couple of weeks. Sometimes it takes an inning like this where you don't get a lot of production out of the bats, but you get a break from the other team, and they allow you to get something going, allow you to have a rally. I think you get 1 more hit here. We keep saying 1 more, but this will be a big one right here by Garrett Anderson to perhaps score 2 runs.
Off-speed pitch, grounded up the middle, of base hit. Salmon scores. Here comes Snow to score. And Garrett Anderson picks up RBIs 60 and 61. And the Angels score 3 here in the 6th inning to lead it 5-2.
Just what the doctor ordered. Garrett Anderson does not hit that ball very hard, but he placed it very, very well right up the middle by Parra. Not a thing he could do. You could see his Parra being very, very upset with himself. I don't know why, though. He really made a pretty good pitch. Garrett Anderson did not hit that ball that well. He just placed it very well, and that's going to happen in this game.
Here's Myers, and he looks at a ball. If you go back from Jose Parra's point of view and the Twins' angle of things here in the 6th inning, Easley and Edmonds retired. Chili Davis safe on an error. Salmon hit a routine ground ball in a sense to the right side, but it found its way through. Then the double error, and then a ground single by Anderson, and Myers rips 1 foul, and it's 1-1. So 3 in the inning to break the 2-2 tie, and I guess the fan still smiling because he got the baseball, but I guess he doesn't have to worry, John, about the fans around him getting on him now, because the run did eventually come in to score.
He probably realizes exactly what he did, and he's glad that Garrett Anderson got that base hit. I guarantee. Got him off the hook.
2-1.
Yeah, you look at Jose Parra out there, you think of him just 22 years old. There's bound to be quite a bit of frustration in the young Dominican because he's really pitched very well tonight, as you mentioned, Clint. He struggled the last few starts, 1 and 2 with a 7.75 ERA on the season. Really a tough inning for him.
Here's a line drive to left center. That's a hit for Myers. Anderson on his way to third. And the throw goes to second base. As we said a while back, the Twins opening the door a bit here in the 6th inning for the Angels, and the Angels have taken the door off the hinges now and had a big inning.
A fastball out away from Greg Myers. Does a good job with staying on that pitch, not trying to do too much, not trying to pull it. Hits the ball to left center field where you should.
Dick Schofield will come up. 3 runs in, runners at first and third, and 2 outs. Schofield brought to the team today from AAA Vancouver. He is grounded to the pitcher and hit into a double play last inning. That got a run in and tied it at 2. 32-year-old Dick Schofield played 16 games in the Coast League, hit .189. And he has a base hit here. That scores Anderson. Myers will go to third. And it is 6-2 California in the 6th inning. 3 consecutive hits after the double error by Mears.
Well, if you're an Angel fan, you've got to be happy tonight. The Twins open the door, and the Angels are trying to close it right now in the bottom of the 6th inning with a 4-run inning. Dick Schofield coming through with a base hit and an RBI for his first night as an Angel once again.
There is action in the Minnesota bullpen. Tony Phillips will be the 9th Angel to hit here in the 6th inning.
Eric Schulstrom beginning to toss in the Twins bullpen.
Strike 1 on Tony Phillips. Tony had a big home run in the 1st inning. Chuck Knobloch led off the game with a home run off Langston, and again the Angels were in a hole. But Phillips jumped up to the plate against Parra, leading off the 1st and homer to tie. An error by Parra when he kicked Chili Davis's little ground ball, opening the door. Then Salmon the ground single, then the double error by Mears. Anderson on an off speed, looked like a changeup, little ground ball up the middle. Then Myers and Schofield loop singles to left center.
Parra kicked the baseball, now he's kicking himself. He knows he could be out of this inning.
6-2 Angels. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Phillips.
I'll tell you, if you're in the Angels dugout right now, you're feeling like you have about a 10 or a 15-run lead. The way they've been swinging the bats and scuffling to score runs the last couple of weeks. They're not comfortable yet. It's early in the ball game, but for what they've gone through the last 10 days or 2 weeks, they haven't had many 4-run leads.
And when you look at a 4-run lead for Marcel Latchman's club, remember Langston has been strong, probably has another strong inning. Then they have Troy Percival to pitch the 8th and Lee Smith to work the 9th. Here's a little pop-up. Mears out, makes the catch to retire the side. We'll return with Baseball Night in America, the Twins and Angels, after this from your local station. Parra, a very tough 6th inning. He created the early problem. Our MCI proof positive replay.
Well, it didn't look like much at the time with 2 outs. Jose Parra, a little number by Chili Davis, isn't able to hang on to it. It opened up the floodgates for 4 Angels runs and a 6-2 lead.
Now it is up to Mark Langston to shut down the Twins here in the 7th inning.
Now that's Tom,
the skipper there.
That's Tom Kelly. He does such a great job with the young kids. Look at him, just as if he were his own. That's great when you see a manager do that. So you get the most out of a young ball club. You have to be almost like a big brother or a father at time. Calm the youngsters down, give them confidence. Hey, you're okay, kid. Throwing the ball well.
Munoz up there, 1 strike pitch, hit in the air down the right field line. This one will go into the crowd. Munoz, Cordova, and Leyes in the Twins 7th. They trail 6-2. Twins held leads of 1-0 and 2-1, which might be unusual for the Twins, but not unusual of late for the Angels to be trailing. 28 consecutive games that they have trailed in. And the Angels hoping that this will be the 9th time out of 28 games that they've been able to come back after trailing to gain a victory. They have won only 4 of their last 21 games, and in their last 108 innings, the Angels have led in only 6 innings. There hasn't been a lot for their fans to cheer about. And Munoz goes down swinging, leading off the 7th inning. And one thing the Angels have lacked is good starting pitching. They're getting it tonight from Langston. Let's get an update now from Hannah Storm.
Thanks, Ken. White Sox in Oakland trying to stay alive in this playoff picture. Sox up 3-2 top of the 6th. And Ray Durham with a solo shot off Todd Van Poppel. Durham with his 2nd RBI of the night put the Sox up 4-2 as they try to stay alive in the wild card race. Meanwhile, a wild card showdown. Kansas City at Seattle. The Mariners' Mike Blowers with a looper into center field, and that allows Jay Buhner to score from 2nd. Seattle goes up 3-1, and the good news also for the Mariners, Randy Johnson back on the mound has 8 strikeouts thus far in this game. Let's get back to Anaheim.
Those Mariners can be a very tough team. Now a little work on the contacts here. Marty Cordova, the batter, has to get the contacts fixed. You look at Seattle, John Wathan, and you've got Randy Johnson healthy. You add Andy Bennis, a late season addition. You've got Kidd Jr., maybe not 100%, but Ken Griffey doesn't have to be 100% to be key. They've got 2 Martinez hitters. They've got
2 Martinis or 2 Martinez?
Two Martinez. They've got Buhner. They can score runs. They can get some good pitching. They've had Norman Charlton lately, the veteran left-hander in the bullpen when Ayala has struggled. They look like they're going to win some more games along the way. They could be the wild card team. And I know they still think, even though I think the reality is against them, that they can catch California. But boy, they've got a great shot at that wild card.
Well, a lot of people left him for dead, Ken, when Ken Griffey went down. They didn't think there was any way that they could sustain any kind of prolonged offense with this bat out of the lineup. But the guy that has surprised me, you talk a lot about the 2 Martinez's. Tino Martinez, yeah, he's coming into his own. He's had some good years, but not great years like he's having this year. Edgar Martinez has always been able to hit. He's putting together an MVP type year. But the guy that's really surprised me is Mike Blowers. Blowers has had a tremendous year. Driving in, I think he's got 85 RBI right now. And with their pitching staff, I tell you what, Randy Johnson, if he can go out there often and is healthy, they've got a shot at it.
Joey Lawrence is coming to NBC next Sunday, starring in a hot new comedy series with his 2 real-life brothers. The show's called Brotherly Love. Look for Brotherly Love next Sunday at 7, 6 Central here on NBC. Langston delivers, and Matt Lawton, who has to pinch hit for Marty Cordova, takes it. Ball 1, Cordova, with the contact lens problem, has to leave the game. Fly ball left field. Garrett Anderson near the line, and 2 outs in Minnesota's 7th.
Cordova just started wearing contacts a couple of years ago. They found that he was having a problem seeing at night. He had something like 20/80, 20/100 vision. And remember Glenn Adams, outfielder for the Twins? He's a minor league coach. He's the one that suggested to Marty Cordova to go get your eyes checked, get some contacts. And ever since, he's been swinging the bat very, very well. But obviously having some trouble tonight, keeping him in, keeping him focused.
Scott Leyes takes ball 1. Scott struck out in the 5th inning.
Tough way to lose the ball, leave the ball game.
Leyes steps into this one. Anderson back at the wall. Goodbye. A home run for Scott Leyes, and that trims the Angels' lead to 6-3. All 3 Minnesota runs on solo home runs for Leyes. His 4th home run, his 41st RBI.
I mentioned before, Langston's been very, very lucky that they've all been solo shots tonight. There's a pitch right down the center of the plate. And Leyes plants it right over the 370 mark in left center field.
First pitch is a ball to catcher Matt Walbeck, who is 0 for 2.
Elias has really been a big disappointment this year. The Twins, he had 14 home runs in '94. They expected him to hit a few more this year. First hit and a pretty good one against Mark Langston this evening.
Phillips at third. Over to Snow at first to retire the side. On to the bottom of the 7th. 6-3 California. Bottom of the 7th, and the Angels lead the Twins 6-3. Now it's time for tonight's Lexus Diamond Dust Baseball Fact. Cal Ripken, 322 homers, 1231 in the RBI total during his consecutive game streak. Who's the only player in the majors with more home runs and RBIs over that span? New pitcher Eric Schulstrom, and easily drives the ball into the gap in right center. It'll go all the way to the wall, and easily will go all the way to second base. A leadoff double in the 7th inning.
Rather rude start for right-hander Eric Schulstrom. Damian easily gets the ball. He can drive the opposite way and does so very well.
And the new center fielder there running it down, Matt Wathan. He pinch hit for Cordova. He stays in the game. The previous center fielder, Rich Becker, moves to left field where Cordova was playing. And the new pitcher relieving Jose Parra is the big right-hander Eric Schulstrom.
You see his numbers. He's used strictly out of the bullpen this year. Was acquired in a trade for Mike Pagliarulo from Baltimore in August of 1993.
Jim Edmonds has struck out twice after a walk in the first, and he takes ball 1.
Schulstrom's best outings have been when Tom Kelly has used him for just 1 or 2 innings. He's a pretty good power pitcher. Throws a lot of high fastballs for a strike, above average fastball, big slow curveball, changeup as well.
1-1.
Been working on a split finger pitch. A couple of the Twins have toyed with that. Rick Aguilera, the former closer who went to Boston earlier in the season, had such good success out of the bullpen with that split finger. So a lot of the Twins relievers are tinkering with that right now. Left-hander Scott Watkins up in the Twins bullpen now.
Ball, 2 strikes on Edmonds, trying to pick up easily, and it is 2-2. Well, the formula for the Angels when they lead is to go to Troy Percival, the hugely successful rookie right-hander in the 8th inning, and that sets it up for the big closer, the veteran Lee Smith, in the 9th.
You had the scenario just right. Looks like that's what they're going to do.
The Angels, as we mentioned earlier, have not gotten many strong outings from their starters lately. Langston tonight going 7 innings, giving up 3 runs on 4 hits.
Well, even though the Angels have a 6-3 lead, you hope Jimmy Edmonds can pull the ball, get easily over to third base.
Here is Becker, almost goes by it, but he makes the catch. Holding at second is easily, so Edmonds unable to move the runner up. And there's 1 out in the 7th.
When you have 2 strikes on you, it's really up to the hitter to hit for himself. Prior to having 2 strikes, you want to try to do everything in your power, get that runner over to third base for your next hitter for the sacrifice fly. Becker having a little trouble moving from center field to left field, shaking his head. Been used primarily in center field this year. Alex Cole went down earlier with a broken foot, dislocated ankle. Cole is on the trip, and they hope to get him back the last couple of weeks to see what he might be like for next year for the Twins, and see if they have plans for him next year. The thing about Alex Cole, though, he's a speed player. Boy, if he doesn't have those wheels, I don't know if he could be the player he was.
Davis hits the ball to left. Becker makes the catch. Back to second easily. 2 outs in the 7th.
Here you see Alex Cole. Added a lot of speed to this Twins lineup at the top of the order. Batter leadoff. Tell you one thing it did, though, is it moved Chuck Knobloch into a leadoff spot. And he has been some kind of productive guy in that slot. Rich Becker has tried to do the job in center field. They've given him every opportunity. Really hasn't performed as well as the Twins might have hoped.
Ball 1 to Tim Salmon. Salmon is 2 for 3. He is hitting .334 as he stands in there. He has raised his average 21 points since August 1st. That's a strike. (6-3) The Angels in the 7th, leading the Twins in the opener of a 3-game series. The Angels with only 1 win in their last 12, only 2 wins in their last 16. This one is pulled down the left field line and into the corner. That'll score easily to make it 7-3. It's a ground rule double. A fan reaches out and touches the baseball. So Salmon, 3 hits tonight, picks up his 91st RBI, scoring easily. And the Angels' lead is back to 4. And here comes the skipper, Tom Kelly.
Well, Schulstrom leaves a big curveball right out over the plate. Timmy Salmon waits back very, very well. Arms go back. Arms come forward after he gets him in a good launch position. Timmy drives it down the line. Once again, fan interference. We've seen that twice tonight. That young man is very, very happy, but you sure hate to see it at the ballpark.
That is it for Eric Schulstrom, and we'll see the 3rd Minnesota pitcher enter the game with the Angels leading in the 7th inning, 7-3.
The Scott Watkins, left-handed, young left-hander for the Minnesota Twins, taking his warm-up tosses. Scott was a 23rd round pick in 1992 by the Twins. Oklahoma State product. Been primarily a reliever. Biggest problem Scott's had is throwing strikes lately. Came up to the Twins just about a month ago. Just pitched 12 in the 3rd innings. Primarily a guy who comes in and tries to get a left-hander out. See his numbers there. 7 walks and 12 in the 3rd innings. Not too good. Got good velocity on the fastball. Throws a slider and a changeup as well. Was voted the best reliever mid-season by the managers. AAA and the Pacific Coast League. Had 19 saves at the All-Star break before coming up to Minnesota.
J.T. Snow 0 for 3, facing the 3rd Minnesota pitcher. And in the 7th, the Angels lead by 4. And he hits a long one on the first pitch. Becker back, and it is gone. A 2-run home run for J.T. Snow. And a 3-run 7th inning for the hungry Angels. And their fans here in Anaheim enjoying the moment as the Angels come limping home and explode tonight against the Minnesota Twins. For Snow, his 20th home run, RBIs 88 and 89.
Well, one of the things you try to do by bringing Watkins in this game is turn J.T. Snow around to the right side. He's been known to be not quite as good a hitter from the right side as from the left side, but it doesn't work in this particular situation. J.T. Snow plants it into left field.
9-3, Angels in the 7th. It's about a week's worth of runs for the Angels, the way it had been going recently. 332 average for Garrett Anderson. A couple more hits tonight. He loses his bat as he's fooled badly by Scott Watkins' curve, and it's 0-2. The Angels coming up with 4 runs in the 6th inning, and they add 3 more here in the 7th. There have been 5 5 home runs in this game. 3 by Minnesota, all solo homers. 2 by the Angels. Phillips' solo shot leading off the first, and now Snow's 2-run homer here in the 7th. One ball, 2 strikes. So the Angels, if they can hold on and win this game, would reduce the magic number to clinching the West title to 15. Of course, they would hope that Seattle would lose, which would take the magic number down to 14. Of course, Seattle is leading Kansas City at the Kingdome. After tonight, only 20 games remain. 2-2. And it's strike 3 called to retire the side. This one goes to the 8th. The Angels 9 and the Twins 3. Lead over the Twins. Let's turn to our Lexus Diamond Dust answer. The question: the only player in the majors with more homers and RBIs than Cal Ripken during Ripken's consecutive game streak? And the answer is Eddie Murray, who of course at one time was a teammate of Cal Ripken. So that's the answer to our Lexus Diamond Dust fact and question. Eddie Murray. New pitcher for the Angels is Troy Percival here in the 8th, facing Minnesota shortstop Pat Mears. Percival has been sensational.
Those numbers are outstanding. What a great setup man for Lee Smith he's been this year. An heir apparent to Lee Smith's closer's job.
Check out those
30
strikeouts,
hits in 62 innings with 73 strikeouts. The thing that impresses me the most is 17 walks.
1 earned run.
Yeah, that's okay too. That's not bad. Former catcher UC Riverside, signed as a catcher, converted into minor leagues with the Angels.
2-1 on Mears, who is grounded out and struck out. Becker is on deck, and then Knobloch here in the 8th. And then on deck in the 9th, most likely Lee Smith. Into the crowd, 2-2.
Troy Percival is one of those classic power pitcher who comes right at you. Hard fastball and a good slider. Has tinkered a little bit with a changeup, but I think Chuck Hernandez, the Angels pitching coach, winces at the thought of him trying it too often. I think the last time Chuck told me that he tried it, it was a double off the bat of Ruben Sierra. You know what you're going to get from Troy Percival, and it's good quality pitching these days.
2-2. Strike 3 call, and Percival explodes out of the bullpen, striking out Mears, who is not happy with a call by Larry McCoy.
Well, you'll be the umpire. Fans watching at home. Looks pretty good to me. Pat Mears doesn't agree. The thing that I noticed in that center field shot is Greg Myers not moving the glove. Troy Percival threw it exactly where he wanted it. Umpire sets up and sees the catcher leaving the glove right there. Usually going to get the call.
Swing and a miss by Rich Becker. Becker has struck out twice. There have been a lot of Twins strikeouts. Langston going 7 innings, allowing 3 runs on 4 hits, walking 1. And Langston in 7 innings struck out 7. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Best outing by Mark Langston in a while. Going to make him and the Angels staff very, very happy. They need to get their starting pitching in order, obviously, with Jimmy Abbott. Very important to this ball club. Chuck Finley, of course. Angels are going to a 4-man rotation now. Talked to Marcel Latchman prior to the ball game. Brian Anderson no longer a starter. He'll be in the bullpen. The rest of the way, it looks like he can get away with a 4-man rotation, with each of them only having to throw with 3 days rest 1 time because of off days.
3 balls and a strike on Becker. Deck, Knobloch. This ball hit down the left field line. foul. The Twins have had only 4 hits tonight, but 3 of them have been home runs. The only non-homer, Ron Coomer's single with 1 out in the second, and he was thrown out trying to steal. Had to leave the game with a hamstring injury. But Knobloch homered in the first, Puckett in the fourth, Leas in the seventh. And Minnesota trailing 9-3 as Becker walks with 1 out here in the 8th.
Number 11, second baseman, Knobloch.
Knobloch, as we've mentioned, having a very big year, has gotten on base a lot. In fact, a lot of people have quite a bit of respect for the on base percentage, and I think with good reason. And if you look at the leadoff hitters in the American League, Knobloch has the highest on base percentage of any of them. Now Chuck Hernandez, the pitching coach, will come out along with the umpire Larry McCoy and Greg Myers.
Well, what happens in this particular situation is Chuck Hernandez and Angels manager Marcel Latchman don't like what they see out there on the mound. There might be a possibility where they caught something in his delivery. They thought he was laboring a little bit. So what Chuck did is talk to Larry McCoy, home plate umpire, and said, I want to check with him and see if everything's all right, so it's not counted as a visit to the mound.
The count is ball 1 on Chuck Knobloch.
I'm sorry, Ken. You must tell the umpire, if you're the manager or the pitching coach, before you go out and talk to your pitcher, that you are going out for an injury. You want to check and make sure everything's okay, or it's counted as a trip.
2-0. Now, moments ago, Lee Smith was up and warming. He has taken a seat, and Bob Patterson begins to work. Angels in the 8th. 3-0. All of a sudden, Percival having trouble throwing strikes. He strikes out Mears, but walks Becker and goes 3-0 on Knobloch. You've got Rebele, Puckett, and Munoz in the wings. Back-to-back walks with 1 out, and Myers wants to go out and chat with the rookie. Now Rebele is called back, and we're going to get a pinch hitter here. It'll be Dan Masteller. Hitting .221, 1 homer, 14 RBIs. 2 on, 1 out. There's a strike.
Well, one thing the Twins have had a lot of trouble with this year is getting some home runs from the left side of the plate. The Twins have just hit 11 home runs this year from the left side of the plate. And that cozy Metrodome with the short porch in right field, that baggy out there, they'd sure like to see a lot more home runs from the left side, obviously, next year.
Fouled, 0-2.
Masteller's only home run of the year was a game winner against Jack McDowell in the Metrodome. Happened to see that ball game, Ken. It was a situation where everybody in the ballpark thought he was going to bunt. Mattingly was charging hard at first base and was scared to death when he saw him swing the bat as hard as that ball came off his bat for the game-winning homer.
1-2. Now Patterson is joined by a right-hander in the Angels pen, Rich Monteleone, who joined the club on the road trip. Pitched briefly at Vancouver after spending most of the season in Japan. Langston goes 7. Percival working here in the 8th with a 6-run lead. Swing and a miss. Whoa. He strikes out Masteller. So 2 strikeouts and 2 walks here in the 8th inning. Well, the Rockies win big 10-5. The Dodgers win in Pittsburgh 8-2. A big road trip for the Dodgers. The Dodgers and Rockies tied for first in the National League West. And the Padres lose in St. Louis, so they drop 4.5 back. The Padres are now 3 under 500. They were up to 2.5 back there not long ago. The Padres now are going to struggle to stay in the wild card race over in the National League. Kirby Puckett a home run in 3 at-bats. 2 on, 2 outs, Twins 8th. 1 strike on Kirby.
No secret about Troy Percival. As I said before, he just comes right at you with some high-test petroleum. Got to tune that bat up just a little bit.
Two strikes. Looked like before that pitch he shook off 2 signs. I think all he throws is a fastball and a curve, really.
Yeah. The high fastball is a tough pitch to catch up with when it's at that velocity. You're talking 96, 97 miles an hour. You might ask why most hitters will swing at that high fastball. Well, it's the closest pitch to their eyes. It looks very, very good when it comes in there. But trying to catch up with it at 95, 97 miles an hour is a different story.
2 strikes.
Hanging breaking ball, that's a little different. You get a hanging breaking ball up in the strike zone, you can catch up to that one.
Two walks here in the 8th. Becker at second, Knobloch at first. There are 2 outs. Still 0-2 on Kirby Puckett. Quite a matchup here. Great hitter Puckett against the young flamethrower Percival. 7 300 seasons, and Boggs, Gwynn, and Molitor have done better than that.
Probably going to be 8 after this year. Could be on a pace to hit over 300 once again. It'll be 8 out of the last 10 years.
There's the curveball. Chopped to Schofield. He has 1 play. It's at first. Out at first is Puckett, and that retires the side. Here in Anaheim, the Angels lead the Twins 9-3. To the office of the Commissioner of Baseball, and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without express written consent from the office of the Commissioner. Eighth inning, and Greg Myers leads off, and a strike thrown by Scott Watkins. Twins and Angels both score in the first. Minnesota takes the lead on Puckett's 23rd homer in the 4th. The Angels tied in the 5th when Schofield hit into a double play, and then the 6th and 7th tell the story. There's a ground ball grabbed by Knobloch from his knees. He throws out Myers. That is a sensational play by Chuck Knobloch.
You see Chuck Knobloch do that so often, whether it be on turf or on grass, you almost get to expect it from Chuck Knobloch every time. But this is a very, very good play. Outstretched as far as he can go, sets himself on his knees, makes a strong throw over to Masteller.
And Masteller staying in the game at first base after pinch hitting for the first baseman, Jeff Revelet. And here is Dick Schofield. Dick got a run in and back in the 5th when he hit into a double play following Anderson and Myers singles, and then singled in a run in the 6th inning. So he has contributed in his first game tonight back with the Angels. 9-3 Angels in the 8th. 2 strikes. To make room for Dick Schofield on the 40-man roster, the Angels sent Mike Butcher out, designating the veteran relief pitcher for assignment. Talking to him before the game, he says he's going to hang around and see if anyone claims him. The 29-year-old Mike Butcher no longer with the Angels. 2-2. Michael Eisner is here from the Disney company. He is the man in charge, by the way. Of course, Disney buying 25% of the Angels, and upon approval will take over the management of the California Angels.
Disney conglomerate. Is there anything they don't own?
They're active. 3-2 on Dick Schofield. And Schofield walks with one out. Scott Watkins, the youngster, the third Minnesota pitcher. The starter, Jose Parra, went 6 innings and actually pitched very well. With the game tied at 2 and 2 outs in the 6th inning, he literally kicked a little Chili Davis roller down the first baseline. There were 2 more errors in the inning on one play by the shortstop, and that opened the door, and the Angels walked through and took control of the game. It was a key point, the turning point, in fact. The error by Parra. Here's a deep drive to right center, and Lawton, the center fielder, over to make the catch to retire Tony Phillips, and they're 2 away here in the 8th.
Number 1, second baseman, Kirby Puckett.
Well, Lawton, the rookie, is not exactly sure. Hey, should I be taking this ball away from Kirby Puckett or not? I know it's my ball, but Kirby's been out there a lot longer than me. He decides at the last minute to take it, and Kirby peels off behind him to back him up.
The batter is Damian Easley. He taps one to the mound. Watkins throws to first in time, and this one goes to the 9th. Pedro Munoz leads it off for the Twins. They trail by 6. This one goes to the 9th. The Angels lead it 9-3. Certainly not a save situation, but Lee Smith's going to come in with some help at third. The newcomer defensively is Rene Gonzalez. And the reason Lee Smith pitches here, John, he has worked only once in the last 8 days.
Well, a closer definitely needs to get some work. Sometimes it works as a disadvantage to some closers. They come into ball games, it's not the same type of situation. The adrenaline isn't flowing as much, and they have trouble at times closing out ball games when you have this kind of a lead, a 6-run lead. But you definitely need to get him in there to get him sharp for when it really counts. 466 career saves for Lee Smith, all-time major league leader. And you talk about longevity, this guy has done it for a lot of different teams. A lot of people thought a few years ago that he was done. He had trouble with his knees. I believe he's had some back trouble before, but Lee Smith is doing a great job for this Angels ball club.
The executive producer of NBC Sports is Tom Roy. Coordinating producer of the Baseball Network, John J. Villapelli. Coordinating producer for NBC Sports, John Gonzalez. The Vice President of Operations for the Baseball Network, Ed Delaney. Studio producers tonight, Lance Garrett, Bill Graff, and Sam Flood. Tonight's game produced by Jim Zrake, directed by Jim Angio. Matt Lipp, our associate director. The technical director is Tim Lay, and our assistant to the producer tonight is Jill Shepard. We're glad that you have been able to spend some time with us here in Anaheim. And this one goes to the 9th with the Angels leading it. Pedro Munoz due up, and Chip Hale is going to pinch hit for Munoz, who goes 0 for 3. Hale rips a single to right field. Well, Lee Smith will be comfortable now. His pattern all season has been to put runners on base in the 9th. Baseball Night in America is brought to you by Lexus Luxury Automobiles, the result of a relentless pursuit of perfection. Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Nothing quenches that deep down body thirst better than Gatorade. And the makers of Advil. Here is Matt Lawton, the Minnesota center fielder. And the youngster takes ball 1 from Lee Smith.
Chip Hale, who you just saw get that base hit, has been the #1 pinch hitter off Tom Kelly's bench. That was 11th pinch hit of the year in 37 tries. real good pinch hitter. And you notice how aggressive he was. Good pinch hitters go after the first pitch a lot, the first good pitch they see.
1 for 5 in his big league career is Matt Lawton, young man from Mississippi.
I had a brother, Marcus, who played professional ball with the Mets, the Angels in the minor leagues, got in the big leagues a little bit with the Yankees, the late 80s. He can run.
That's the strike, and it's 2-1. Lee Smith following Mark Langston and Troy Percival. Langston in position to gain his 14th victory of the season. 9-3 Angels in the ninth. There's another strike, and it's 2-2. The only pitchers in the American League with more victories than Langston if he's able to notch his 14th. Tim Wakefield and Mike Mussina. Wakefield with 15. Mussina with 16. Both Wakefield and Mussina getting their share of victories in the last few weeks against this Angels club. This one popped up. The first baseman, J.T. Snow. And in foul territory, making the catch, 1 out. So the Angels are 2 Minnesota outs away from only their 2nd victory in their last 13 games. They know that Texas lost tonight at Milwaukee 10-1. That would put Texas 8 games back. Boy, Texas now getting in danger even of falling out of the wild card race. Scott Leyes homered in the 7th inning. The last inning worked by Langston. Strike 1.
Well, if the Angels are to get healthy, certainly this first game is an indication that this might be the team to do it against. We've mentioned it several times. We don't mean to belabor the point, but the Twins staff is the worst in Major League Baseball right now, and the Angels would certainly like to rack up some runs the next few days to get them off to a good start for this long homestand.
1 ball, 1 strike. 3 here with the Twins. Then Chicago comes in for 3 starting Monday night. We know they are hot. And then Kansas City will be here next weekend. Kansas City is trailing as they bat in the 9th at Seattle 4-1. 2 balls and a strike on Minnesota third baseman Scott Leyes. On deck, the catcher Matt Wahlbeck.
Lee Smith, much like Troy Percival, with a fastball and a slider, but he also features a forkball. For a while there, it looked like who doesn't throw a forkball? Everybody in the big leagues had a forkball.
Right. 2-2.
People try to figure out the difference between a forkball and a split finger. Forkball, you grip just a little bit wider on the baseball than a split finger. Roger Craig was the one that really came into play as far as the split finger was concerned. Taught a lot of his Giants pitchers that. Taught at Detroit when he was a pitching coach there as well.
Snow gobbles it up. Goes to Schofield. They get the force out. And there are 2 outs. Lee Smith was on his way to cover first. However, did not get a great distance under his feet.
JT playing behind the runner, which gives him an advantage on this play, not on the bag. Great range to his right. Throw to second base, and that's tough for Lee Smith to get over to first base. In that particular play, the ball was hit hard. Lee not as nimble as he once was.
I think he decided early he was not going to win the foot race with Scott Leyes. And there are 2 outs, and the batter is Matt Wahlbeck, the switch hitting catcher. He cracks it back to the screen. 1 strike. The Twins are down to their final out. They trail the Angels 9-3. The Angels, with a victory, reduce their magic number to 15 with 20 games remaining. Seattle looks like they'll win, so the Angels will come back to the ballpark tomorrow, leading the West by 6 with 20 to go. 1-1. And the game in Seattle is now over. The Mariners at home beat Kansas City 4-1. So it looks like that'll be the case. A 6-game California lead with 20 to go. Here's a long one off the bat of Wallbeck. Salmon back, and he'll make the catch, and that ends this one. Mark Langston wins his 14th. The Angels get a key victory to open a 9-game homestand. They defeat the Minnesota Twins by a score of 9-3 here in Anaheim. We'll return in just a moment. Angels, a 9-3 victory over the Minnesota Twins. Mark Langston wins it. Parra is the loser. The Angels' 3rd win in their last 17 games. Welcome back to Anaheim Stadium. Ken Wilson along with John Wathan. A very, very important win for the Angels, and it opened up with that Parra error there in the 6th inning.
Well, they'll take it any way they can get it right now. They've really scuffled swinging the bats. They did swing the bat well tonight, but that error really helped them. 3 errors in that inning, a couple by the shortstop, allowed them to score 4 runs and really put the game away. I think that was really the inning that did it for the Angels. It's
a case of the Angels taking advantage of an opportunity, and the outstanding Angels rookie left fielder Garrett Anderson joins us. And Garrett, it has to feel good. You guys finally came up with some key hits to take a game away.
Yeah, I knew eventually we was gonna come out of it and start swinging it. I mean, you can't keep a good hitting team down too long.
What was the feeling in the dugout? Any different than the last couple weeks tonight?
We knew what we had to do, so we really wanted to come out and really take hold of the game right at the beginning, and that's pretty much what we did.
Garrett, this is John Wathan. It must have been a big boost for you to have Mark Langston come out and pitch the game that he pitched tonight as well. I know you guys have been struggling not only with the bats, but also with the pitching staff at times.
I think teams go through that pretty much. All teams go through that during the season, and it just happened for us to happen right now at a certain time of the season. But I think everybody on this team is well aware of what we need to do, and we're going to come out and try to do it every day.
Garrett, how about Rookie of the Year? Are you tired yet of hearing about that?
You know, pretty much I keep that away from me. Every time it comes up, I just go on to another subject. It's nothing I really want to talk about. And, I mean, you got to think about it. The guy on the other side of here tonight is doing pretty well, too. And I got to tip my hat to him because he's been doing it all year.
Garrett, what has Marcel Latchman, the manager, said the last few days? Anything in particular, or has he been kind of staying away?
I think the last few days he's been kind of staying away. I mean, I think he knows what we need to do, and we're grown men around here, and I think we need to come out and really take care of our business for the rest of the season.
You seem, for a rookie, Garrett, very, very comfortable to me in left field and at the plate. And you don't seem to have much trouble with left-handed pitchers. A lot of times young guys have trouble when they first get the big leagues, especially against left-handers.
Yeah, that's something I really try to take pride in, hitting off of lefties. I always heard coming up through the minor leagues that lefties can't hit lefties, so I really try to take time and really look at the lefties and try to find out something I can take advantage of and just keep my front shoulder in.
Well, Garrett, you have had a terrific year. Congratulations on your 2 hits tonight and the Angels' victory.
Thank you.
That's Garrett Anderson, who has a likelihood of being the American League Rookie of the Year. Well, we've talked about the importance of this victory, John, for the California Angels, having lost 11 of their last 12. And I guess at this stage, maybe as important a number as any.